Perfect. Welcome everyone. Today we have Tanya.
Hi.
Hi. So Tanya is VP Brand Marketing at upGrad. She has 17 plus years of experience. She's an London Business School alum, and she's worked for organizations such as Unilever, Nike, Coca-Cola, and Citigroup. So thank you, Tanya. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
So today, what we'll be talking about is Tanya's journey. She's an MBA graduate. She has 17 plus years of experience. The idea of this session is to learn from her, to understand what her day looks like, what are different kind of things she's managing, and help you make a decision whether an MBA degree is right for you or not. So coming right to the point, Tanya. So you did your MBA 10 years ago. Uh, how did you decide that I need to do an MBA, and then this is the right time to do an MBA for me?
Yeah. I think that decision varies in people's life and in their career journey. But for me, actually, I decided to do my MBA about 5 years after I had started working. So I had 5 years of experience. And I wanted to learn a few additional skills. I think for me, the most important thing was also I was actually looking for a career transition. So like you mentioned, I started my career in Citigroup. I was in the finance, banking industry. I had actually transitioned to a supply management and marketing role, but I wanted to get into pure brand marketing and brand management. And therefore, I thought the MBA would really facilitate that transition, and which is why I did it when I did it.
Perfect. So you did your MBA from London Business School, and which is one of the top B schools in the world.
Yeah.
And you did a specialization in marketing and strategy. So how did you make a decision of which B school you want to do your MBA from, and which specialization you want to do your MBA from?
Yeah. So actually, it was a little bit of my life experience that drove the geography that I wanted to do my MBA in. So I was born and raised in India, but I had spent about 9 years in the US. I had done my undergrad there as well as worked for 5 years. So I wanted to do a different geography as well. I wanted to experience a different culture and continent. And like you said, LBS is one of the best schools out there. So actually, it was my first choice. And I was lucky enough to get in. So that worked out really well. And marketing, for me, again, was where I believed my passion was. I had gotten a taste for it in my previous roles, and I really wanted to transition into it. And I think strategy is so aligned with, well, quite frankly, any specialization. But marketing and strategy was just the perfect fit to kind of grow brands and take it forward.
So just to reiterate, you were already somewhat working in marketing domain,
yeah,
and you really liked that. So
yeah,
your MBA was an extension, sort of a specialization of that. So you're already doing that, and LBS being a tier 1 institute, a very good brand,
yeah,
was a deciding factor for you.
Yes, it was.
Choosing that college.
Exactly right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
and I think, like you had mentioned, I had kind of got a taste for it, but I was in the periphery of marketing. And this allowed me to kind of jump in center and get involved. And
So your tier 1 college really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since you're in the game of brands.
Yes. I mean, my world is full of brands. So yes, brands do matter. Yeah.
So talking about MBA, what differentiates MBA? So just put it in other words, what was the aha moment for you? If I had not done this MBA, I would not have been able to solve this problem, or how MBA helped you?
I think I feel that every day. And, it may seem like a bit of a dramatic statement to make, but it's true. I think an MBA and a good curriculum and a good course really can help shape the way you think, shape the way you address problems or situations at work, how you come at it, how you look at it from different perspectives, organizational behavior management, which I know is part of our curriculum as well. It's so important. And I know when you're doing it, sometimes it doesn't seem that important, but it plays a role in your everyday experiences, in how you manage your team, how you manage your seniors, and your peers. So I think literally I have an aha moment every day where I'm like, I definitely feel the benefits every day.
So if you had to define the outcome that you got from MBA, in few points, what are the major top 3, top 4 outcomes that you think you've got from your MBA?
I think what an MBA does is expose you to, well, first of all, a lot of different key business areas, right? So it gives you that overall understanding of whether it's finance or marketing or strategy, and so you have a great base. But I think what gets added onto that is the way you think. So when you do a case study and you are solving a problem, but then when you actually work with your peers or in your groups, you actually start to see how you can approach it from different perspectives, and therefore that you also see that there could be so many solutions to that. And I think that fundamentally is one of the things that I've taken away. Is every time I get a problem or a situation or something that I have to solve for, or a task that I have to complete, I always say, okay, what are my options? What is the objective? And that kind of strategic thinking and problem solving, I think, is my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, so just to reiterate what we have discussed so far, that for people who are joining us now, the brand, the college that you come from really matters.
Yeah.
Second, the curriculum that you're getting there is extremely important. The quality of faculty, the content, and then MBA itself, like the purpose is to give you perspective, to give you different scenarios that you would face as a manager.
Yeah.
And then it just immerses you there.
Yeah.
And then you can use them throughout your professional career. So it is truly a professional degree in that sense.
Yes, it is. Highly recommended.
So, if you had a chance to do your MBA again, you did your specialization in marketing and strategy. Now, I think since that was 10 years ago, and a lot of things have changed now. We have different kind of specializations coming up. So, if you had to redo your MBA, what kind of specializations would you like to go for?
And Vaibhav, you and I have discussed this. I think, obviously, look, my passion is in marketing, and I fundamentally believe that strategy is aligned. But I think strategy really is applies to everything, and it should almost be one of the core pillars. I think when you talk about business analytics and you talk about the fact that data is so rampant now, we have so much of it, and it influences everything, right? Marketing today is all data driven. Yes, of course, there's an emotional connect that you need to make with your consumers, but it's all data driven about where they are, what they're doing, what they're watching, where they are digitally, and so I think that would have been a great option to have as well, but it wasn't one of the specializations back then.
Yeah, actually, because data science, data analytics, business analytics is something which is last 5 to 10 years, which has become really popular in last 5 to 10 years. So I'm sure you use a lot of data analytics or business analytics in your day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
So any specific examples of how you have used analytics or how you see analytics being used in marketing?
Again, it's everywhere. We kind of had that conversation with Harsha too, and how it's so rampant in sport. It's so rampant in marketing as well. When I'm looking at my performance metrics, or whether it's cost per lead or that's all data and where it comes from. But even when I'm looking at where my consumers are and how do I best target them, or if I'm looking at a product, so if I'm looking at Coke and I'm doing market research on what are the taste profiles across, this is all data that feeds into it. Whether it's, so if I was looking at a juice flavor, what is the consumption of fruit? What is the consumption of, in which area? So there's everything is driven by data today. And I think more and more, you can't get away without really understanding and having a handle of how to at least manage that data and how to get the right insights from it.
Great.
Yeah.
So you have seen the program curriculum of NMIMS Executive MBA, the specialization in business analytics. So what are the things that you really like about the curriculum? Overall, you have been involved in the design of the curriculum. You've seen what the comments from our existing users are. So what's your sense? What do you really like about the program?
I think one of the great things is, and this is actually most of our programs at upGrad, is the curriculum is really reverse engineered, right? And by that I mean, obviously it has the key elements and the pillars of an MBA, but it also looks at what's relevant today, and it looks at what is it that we can learn from the world, and therefore, and actually that's why we have the business analytics specialization, right? So that's the first thing. I think one of the other things is that it's very hands-on. So when we look at our case studies or when we look at our modules, we're really making our learners actually do the stuff and carry it out, and whether that is effective communication and how we make them actually carry out those exercises so that it's real-time learning. So I think these are some of the things that I think are great and definitely go towards making it quite unique. Yeah.
Perfect. Just to elaborate on that, because when we're designing the curriculum, also during the research of the program, we just interact with 50 to even 100 experts just to understand what they're looking from the MBA graduates. So we did that for this program. We do it for all our grad programs.
Yeah.
So this content is truly reverse engineered in that sense. It's not just an academic program. It's a program wherein we bring the best in academia, which is NMIMS here, and we are bringing the best in industry, the CXOs of top Indian startups and companies who are giving us actual case studies for the program. So this was about the program. So actually we're trying to do we're completing the loop wherein we're taking feedback from the recruiters on what the content should be like.
Yeah.
And then in the end, we're providing career support to our learners so that same recruiters at times come back to us and hire the learners from our programs. Mm-hmm. So this way, there's a complete loop that we're doing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, and that's something I'm surprised I didn't actually talk about it, is I think here we almost do more than some of the offline campuses do when it's actually about talking about career building and services. We have an entire team that's dedicated to making sure that our students actually are equipped throughout the curriculum and also at the end stage. So whether it's bringing recruiters, but also making sure that they're prepared to handle those interviews, whether it's just-in-time interviews and things like that. So I think that element of the program is actually so unique, and while it's not necessarily curriculum related, it delivers so much in addition to
because it's a professional program, so people come with expectation that and that is what our aim is as well, is to give you a meaningful career transition.
Yeah.
Because that's the end goal.
Yeah.
Like, that's upGrad's motto, that eventually we want to transform your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So we're open to Q&A from the audience.
Yeah. I think we have a few, right?
Yes. Great. So we have a question from Shubha.
Yeah.
Shubha Garwal. So obviously there are some people who have this impression that MBA is a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
So especially for the people who are in business or startups. So people who are either working for a high growth startup or have their own business.
Yeah.
So where do you think, what's your sense, because we already heard from you how your MBA helped you.
Yeah.
It gave you a different perspective.
Yeah.
So if you're owning a business, and I believe you founded one business yourself.
No, I was part of a startup, but I didn't, and I actually haven't I haven't founded one yet. But I mean, look, everybody will have opinions about pretty much everything in life.
Yeah.
My MBA, the decision to do my MBA was probably one of the smarter decisions I've taken as an adult. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. So, that's my personal opinion. I think it has really helped me. It has really shaped the way I approach business problems. And therefore, I think it is very relevant for everybody. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you're a business owner, or whether you are in a corporate world. I think the skills that it gives you and the underlying knowledge that it gives you can only help and benefit. Obviously, like every learning and every experience in life, you get from it what you give to it and what you take from it. So that's my answer to that question.
And I think also, just to add to that, if you're doing MBA just for a degree from a college which does not have a good curriculum, which does not have good enough rigor, and your only focus is degree and not the learnings from it, then obviously MBA is a waste of time and money. But if you're doing MBA, if you're investing time and money there, then if you do it properly, then like as you mentioned, the rewards are like
you have to be invested in it, right? I mean, I could choose to do yoga, but not really commit to it, and then I'm not going to see the change in my mental or physical being. So it's like if you're really committed to whatever it is that you take up in life, is when you'll see the results. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So we have Ritvik who wants to ask a question. Ritvik, please go ahead and ask your question. Yes, Ritvik, please type your question. So we are open to question, guys. Please type your question in the chat.
I think there's. I'm just reading through some of the other questions, but okay, I have. So while Ritvik answers that, I mean, I was just reading through some of the others, and I just wanted. It seems like one or two of the people have asked, "Look, if I'm starting my own business, do I really need this?" I think it can only help. I think it's only when you start up a new business, how do you set up your team? How do you manage that team? What is the right way to financially plan for that team? What is the right way to strategically approach funding and your investors? I think all of it you can learn a lot from actually doing this degree. So
yeah, just a perspective in case study, because we have certain perspective from our experiences.
Yeah.
But what an MBA helps us give us 10 more perspectives.
Yeah.
Like or 20 more case studies, like as part of the curriculum, just to immerse us in different scenarios. Like it opens us, because a person with a hammer would like hammer everything. But if you have a lot of tools in your arsenal, then you would approach each problem with all those different tools.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that is what MBA does. Like it gives you those arsenals. So Ritu is asking that he has done his MBA, but everybody's asking for at least 1 year of experience.
Yeah.
So okay, so he's doing postgraduate diploma in marketing management. So Ritvik, the program that we're talking about here is executive MBA with specialization in business analytics.
Yeah.
For the diploma program, I think we're not the right people to ask. I think you'll have to contact NMIMS for that.
I think the one thing, Ritvik, is look, I mean, just reading through this, I think you've obviously studied, you've done your MBA, you're looking at doing a diploma. I think if people are looking for work experience and that is what you're finding as your hurdle, I would say, why don't you look for projects, see how you can kind of shadow people, look for smaller projects, get your foot in the door, showcase some of the skills that you've learned in your MBA. And then that's how you'll kind of start to get experience, because it is hard sometimes when you have no work experience to kind of break into the working world. But I think that would be my advice on trying to get a job with no work experience.
Yeah, and also like one really good thing about this MBA is that it's not a distance MBA. So we have a question from Kamal.
Yeah.
How a distance MBA would help. So the best thing about this program, MBA Executive with Specialization in Business Analytics, is that this is not a distance MBA.
Yeah.
There's a proper executive MBA. If you can go to our website, you'll see that even the websites clearly mention. You can see the certificate. So nowhere does it mention online MBA or distance MBA.
I also think because I think Kamal, you wanted to know, is this better or different from a distance MBA? And I think what is amazing about this is, even though you're studying and online, you actually have a lot of peer-to-peer interaction. There's a lot of actually offline events that happen, and therefore I have talked to students and learners from our other courses who actually have such close relationships with their peer groups, and there's actually friendships outside of knowing expertise and experts in that particular field. So I think this gives a lot more than what a a basic distance MBA would give. Plus, the curriculum is a lot more thorough. It's a lot more relevant. It's like we talked about, made and tailored to this current need, and therefore, I think it's definitely a better alternative.
Also, like this is not a distance MBA or a PGDM program, because NMIMS is very particular about the rigor of the program. If they're offering an MBA, it's completely different from a PGDM that they're offering. So NMIMS has ensured that this program is rigorous. It has very solid outcomes. So this program is not going to be an easy breeze for you. Like it's, even though you're consuming the content completely online, but you would not feel that it's chill. Like it's proper rigorous program where you will be expected to devote 15 to 20 hours every week on the program. And the best part is that that is not just you consuming content, sitting in front of a screen and just watching a video. Like maybe you, of that 15 hours, you will be watching a video for like 2.5 to 3 hours. But rest 12 hours, what you're doing actually is solving case studies. So the entire model of this program is that you learn, then you immediately apply it. So you learn one concept. For example, you just learned how to write a proper email for a business communication. Immediately after that, what you'll be doing is you'll be given a practical scenario. For example, one of your employees is not performing. How do you communicate to that employee? Via email. So that's just one very small example that you immediately apply what you've learned. So that's one scenario. But then you collate all these concepts and do a bigger project, which will consume 7 to 8 hours of your time in the week. So that's how the program is designed. It's not a content library. It's a workbook where you consume some content, you immediately do a case study on that. Then you consume all the content, you do a bigger case study on that. So that's how the content is designed, and that's how it's super effective in giving you the feel of a classroom, giving you the feel of and outcomes of an actual MBA.
Absolutely.
So there's one more question. So how does this MBA rate against a regular MBA? So like we mentioned that Tanya hails from one of the tier 1 London Business School, and she has gone through the curriculum. She feels that and I think Tanya, you will be best person to elaborate. What you just for the sake of people who have just joined us, what you really liked about the content.
So I did an offline MBA from London Business School. I loved it. It was great. I think when I look at this curriculum, it's honestly as rigorous. It's as in detail. It's got a very relevant specialization in business analytics, which is so important in today's world, no matter which field you're in, whether you're in marketing or whether you're in sales or whether you're in finance. Working with data and being able to interpret it is so important. So for me, I think this is as good as an offline MBA. I think what's also a huge benefit is that you can actually continue to do your job, right? And so that opportunity cost is not something that you have to weigh, because you can do it both. You can do it all, and actually get a great rigorous program from a great university, as well as continue your job. So for me, I think it's definitely a great program.
And that's a win-win situation, because you leave your job, you maybe lose 1-2 years of your time. Of the opportunity cost is huge. Plus an offline program costs you anywhere between 10 to 15 lakh in India to maybe 50 lakhs if you plan to go abroad and studying that. While this program, you can continue doing your job. You can continue learning and maintaining your seniority in the organization. And at the same time, you're doing an MBA from NMIMS, which is like one of the best institutions in India. You're doing the latest MBA with specialization in business analytics over a period of 15 months. So I think which is very hands-on, which has very solid outcomes. So if you start your MBA now and then you have 1.5 year horizon that I'm up for promotions 1 year, 2 year down the line, and this MBA is what my ticket to my promotion or for my career transition is. So I think if you approach it if you have that in mind, if you're approaching an MBA, I think that is how you should be approaching your MBA.
Mm.
I think we have one very common question, and we get this a lot, that this is MBA specializing in business analytics. So is this going to be too technical? Is this, how I have no technical expertise, so how will I do this MBA? I think I'm best person to answer this because I've worked very closely on designing this program and setting the vision for this program. So at the end of the day, what this program is, it's an MBA. The aim of this program is to equip managers of tomorrow for the skills they would need. We definitely cover all the skills that a manager in general needs, like organizational behavior, communication skills, finance, marketing, economics, sales and operations, supply chain. So the topics, the courses that will be studying as part of any regular MBA, you will be studying as part of this MBA. What specialization in business analytics stand for is that as a manager of tomorrow, what's happening is that increasingly we are making decisions more and more based on data. And I think Tanya has already covered that, how in marketing, every small decision you need to support that with data. Why creative one versus creative two? Why this campaign and not this campaign? Which messaging is better? You do A/B testing. You do a lot of things for which you depend on data, for which you depend on analytics. So not just in marketing, in sales, or if you're CX of an organization, like who to hire, how to do appraisals, how many employees do you need to hire? So all these decisions now, you cannot just make them based on your gut. Now everybody must use data analytics. So as a manager, you are now expected to use data analytics in every decision. Every major decision has to be based on that.
Yeah.
And what we felt and what we heard from recruiters on discussion with them is that they're getting a lot of MBA graduates, but they don't have these analytical skills. They don't have this understanding on how to approach problems, how to break them down into more solvable chunks. And that is what the business analytics part stands for. That, we're giving you a flavor of how to structure a modern business problem, how to break it down into a solvable analytics problem that you don't have to solve hands-on, but you can give it to a data science team, you can give it to a business analytics team to solve.
Yeah.
And then so you are like a bridge between the business and the data science team. So that's what we are expecting your role as managers to be.
Yeah.
And that is what we are trying to create with the help of this program. That you have an idea of what machine learning is. You have an idea of what can happen in Tableau. What are different analytics tools? So once you have an idea, once you have that context, you can demand certain things from people, or the limitations of your team. You know what can be done, what cannot be done. It gives you a different perspective. It gives you a structure to solve a problem. For example, we take a very simple problem. How do I increase the profits of my organization? Now, this is a business problem. And this is a very, very vague business problem.
Yeah.
Like, if you just look at it this way, you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But if you just break it down into profit is my revenues minus my expenditure. Now, revenue can further be broken down into I have 5 verticals. Like, what is the revenue of each vertical? How can I increase the revenue of each vertical?
Yeah.
Then you break it down further and you keep on breaking it down till you know how to solve that problem. And that is what we're trying to achieve this problem, how to structure a problem in such a way that you can eventually solve it, or you can get your team to solve it, wherein you are the brains behind it, wherein you are the person who has all the context in the world and can break it down for your team.
And you can solve it at scale. So in the sense is, what Vaibhav gave you was was the base level problem. But now if you think of a big company, an MNC, and you talk about revenue, it is so much more complex than that. And to be able to get the insights and the data in an organized way, to be able to interpret and learn from that is so crucial today. Okay.
So Swapnil is asking that he wants to take an MBA program, he wants to learn Tableau and other tools. How will we ensure the effectiveness of delivery and learning of these tools? So again, since I've been involved in the program, I can help you with this question. So as part of the program, we have Tableau, we have Python, we have Excel. So we are covering these tools.
Yeah.
And how we ensure that you effectively learn these tools is that by giving you practice, because upGrad has launched a lot of program analytics. We have PG diploma in data science, we have masters in data science, masters in machine learning, and all these programs are being delivered in similar fashion by experts. So how we do this is that you'll get access to these tools, you'll get access to Tableau, Python, Excel. Excel you'll bring it yourself. Python is anyway an open source software. So you will have access to these tools. What you would be given is smaller case studies to solve. So while you're learning, for example, you're watching a video, so no video will be of more than 5 minute duration. You watch a video, a question would pop up. You would actually be solving the question along with the SME when the video is going on. So it's not like you're just watching a video, you're actually solving the problem. And then once you have solved a problem, once you've solved a bigger case study, we actually get industry experts to give you feedback on how you have done that. So it's not just one-way learning where you are learning from the content. Once you have done a case study, once you've solved a project, then an industry expert gives you a detailed feedback on where you went wrong. We have a lot of case studies, in fact, where you would actually be working with an expert because those are sufficiently complex problems that we think when an expert intervention is required. So, so it doesn't happen that we just leave you to yourself. At times you'll be working in groups, you will be working with experts on who will be guiding you through the case study. So that's what our way of teaching you complex tools and complex concepts is.
Yeah.
So people want to know about the job prospects after this program. I think that would be very similar to any MBA that you can think of. Yeah. So,
exactly.
So I think Tanya, I think you would have very good knowledge on what kind of jobs one can expect after an MBA.
I mean, again, I think it depends on your interest. I mean, an MBA, at least for me personally, opened my world up to a lot of areas that I was interested in. At that time, I was interested in FMCG companies or more, consumer goods. And I was able to kind of find the job, and I was able to find my job at Nike post my MBA. So I think, the job opportunity, again, I think what I can say with certainty is, depending on what you're interested in, post your MBA, we will definitely look to make sure that you are fully ready and able to partake in those interviews, and make sure that your presentation of yourself as well as your experience is in the right form, that your knowledge that has come out of this MBA is thorough and complete. And so therefore, I think, what job and what industry you want to enter into will be more accessible.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is no crystal balls for me to be able to tell you exactly what you could land in. But, doors should open.
I think how it also works is a lot of good companies require one to have a master's degree.
Yeah.
And especially from a tier 1 college,
Yeah.
to be even considering them for certain jobs. So I think how it helps is, I think, in 2 steps. One is you're getting an executive MBA degree from a tier 1 college,
Mm-hmm.
a tier 1 university. So that looks really good in your resume. That helps you get shortlisted.
Yeah.
But I think just getting shortlisted is not enough, because you have to clear the interview. You have to have those skills to actually convert into a job. And which is where the second part of this program helps, that the content, it's kick-ass. Like, we have got this feedback from our learners who are doing the program right now, that I think this is the best content that they have seen.
Yeah.
Tanya has seen this content, and she has done her MBA from London Business School. So, and she feels that again, the content is very relevant, very hands-on. So I think these 2 things together is what will help you convert a job. So think of it not like a business analytics MBA, or like the outcomes you should not think of outcomes from business analytics point of view. Think of it like a general MBA, which has a very strong analytics flavor to it. And I think any general MBA now needs to have that, because analytics is just like any other core skill, like any other core MBA skill now. Like whether we talk about HR or economics or finance, now analytics is just now one of them. Yeah. Every manager just needs that now. Like, you should have good analytics skills, good problem solving skills.
Yeah.
And that's what. So Ritvik, essentially what this program will do is just open up those job prospects for you. So a very valid question that for working professionals, this is a very valid question that where is the flexibility part, because we are working, and we have our work commitments, we have our family commitments, all different sort of commitments. So see, I'll tell you the structure of this program. We have the program divided into 5 terms. Uh, each term is of 3 months duration, about 13 weeks duration. And the first 11 weeks would be very rigorous, wherein you would have weekly deadlines, you would have weekly assignments. Then you would get a break for 2 months. So in that 2 months, we'll not have any graded components. We'll have some fun activities. We'll have offline base camps. We'll have some case study rounds. So all those things which are completely optional but not graded. So you will have 2 weeks break in between. Also, how NMIMS is designed to give additional flexibility is that you can take a break after each term. So there is a 15-month program that you can complete in 13 months. So once your term is over, you can take a 3-month break. For example, if you're getting married, if you have a important project coming up, if you're moving out of the country. So you can take a 3-month break after a term completes and then move on with the program. So at any point in time, you just have to plan for next 11 weeks. Am I free for next 11 weeks or not? And then, go ahead with that. So I think that's the flexibility thing. Second, I think very important part is the presence of asynchronous content. You don't always have to be present for lectures. The content is present on website, content is present on apps. So even when you're traveling, and most of our students do this, they consume a lot of content when they're just traveling to and from work. And I think Tanya can agree with this. That is one time where if you can utilize fruitfully, that's like 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that gives you like 10 hours. If you're working 5 days, it's 10 hours additional.
I mean, look, guys, it's a brilliant opportunity. It is a time commitment.
Yeah.
It's good that you've asked that question, Sapna, because you're at least aware of the fact that, this is going to take a commitment. To what Vaibhav was suggesting is, look, I think we've structured it so that you do have those gaps if you need them.
Yeah.
But time management is going to become a super skill for you, because you are going to have to use those pockets, right? And like whether it's your commute time or such things. And the great thing is, I mean, one thing that you haven't really talked about is our student success team, which you will have a student mentor throughout the program that will help guide you on how to deliver your assignments on time. When you're struggling from a time management point of view, they'll help give you tips on, this is how you prioritize, this is how you're gonna, and they kind of help you. They're like your buddy or your coach in the gym, where they'll kind of help you to get to that last mile and complete it. But yes, there is going to be time management needed, and it is a commitment, but it is manageable, totally.
Yeah, so I completely agree that this program is going to be extremely rigorous, but you talk to any MBA grad from a good college, they will tell you that even in a full-time program, and they were just doing their MBA full-time, the life was, there was no life actually. It was just MBA.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you have to be you have to be good on your time management regardless of where you're doing it.
Yeah, and the same thing will apply to this MBA as well, that you're balancing work, you're balancing life, and now you're balancing MBA.
Yeah.
So you will have to devote time to this MBA. This is going to be rigorous. It's because if you want outcomes, I think there's no other way.
Yeah.
If you want an MBA in 15 months, if you want good career outcomes, I think there is no way around that. You will have to become master of time management here.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely help you along with that.
Yeah.
We have designed this program in such a way that it suits the needs of working professionals, because and that's our goal. Like, we don't want you to leave your job to do an MBA. That's the MBA 2.0 concept.
Yeah.
So
how do you crack the test?
Yeah. So after thinking through, how do you think this course will prepare you for mid-level management and upper-level management?
Who do you think this course will? So is it mid or upper? I think, honestly, I think an MBA will help shape your abilities and your knowledge no matter where you are, right? So I know people who have done an MBA with 2 years experience. I did it after 5 years, and I know people who have chosen to do an MBA after 10 years of experience. And an MBA will benefit you wherever you are. So it's not necessarily that it will only be suitable for mid-level or only for senior. So I think it kind of depends on where you are and how it then therefore shapes your experiences, your thought, your knowledge. So it could be either.
Yeah, also like it's dependent on where you are, then the outcome will be dependent on that, because
Exactly.
You will have to consider the function of time. Like
Yeah.
you cannot expect that after doing an MBA I'll become a senior manager or CXO directly.
Like exactly. So if you've got 2 years of experience, then it's going to help propel you in that range of experience.
Yeah.
But obviously, it will open up other opportunities for you. If you've already got 5 or 8 years of experience, it'll open up another set of opportunities. So yeah, but it would open up opportunities regardless.
Great. Thank you so much, Tanya. So we have one more question on how to crack the test. So the entry criteria for this program is quite rigorous. You must have at least 2 years of experience if you're a graduate.
Yeah.
You must have at least 1 year of experience if you're a postgraduate. And we've done this specifically because we think, and we've designed this MBA for people who have some sort of experience, who have some context of the industry, of how professional environment work. So this is different. This is an executive MBA. This is different from a full-time 2-year MBA. So yes, so there's an eligibility criteria. There's also a test which is designed to test your skills if you would be able to cope up with the curriculum of the MBA. So yes, this is one rigorous program. This has very good curriculum, and hence the bar for entry is also higher than other programs out there. But it's not going to be this difficult that if you have reasonable aptitude skills, you will be able to crack it. So the test is designed only to test that whether you'll be able to cope up with the curriculum or not. It's we do not want to reject people just because the test is not designed to reject people, but it's only designed to select the best people who can actually cope up with the curriculum.
Yeah.
And we will give you mock tests. We'll tell you what the curriculum for the test is. So that will not be an issue.
Yeah.
Great. So do we have any other questions from the audience for Tanya, for me, about the program? So I think one. So I'll give you a brief download of the program, how it's designed. 15 months, 5 terms. First 4 terms you'll be learning different concepts. The last term is a capstone project, like a 3-month long capstone project. You'll be applying all the concepts that you've learned so far. The courses are a mixture of core MBA skills and then application of those skills. For example, we have case study on HR analytics. We have case study on fraud and risk analytics. We have case study on marketing analytics. So we have the curriculum designed in a way that then you're applying those core skills using them in conjunction with analytics. So that's how the curriculum is designed. You will get breaks between the program. You'll get 2 weeks break after each course, each term, and then obviously you can choose to take a break in between that, a 3-month, a quarter-long break.
Yeah.
So that's how the program is designed. So if we don't have any more questions from the audience, I would like to thank Tanya for taking out her time.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for being with us and sharing your experience with the audience.
Yeah, no, thanks. And, good luck, guys. Obviously, I know you're in the process of making a decision, so good luck. And, hopefully we kind of see you in our next batch and our next cohort. But I do wish you all best of luck in your journey forward.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, Krunal, we'll just put our phone number and email ID in the chat. You can just directly call us and we'll just help you solve that query of yours. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Thursday night. And happy holidays. So holidays.
Yes.
Happy Diwali.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Good night.